Hello everyone, my name is Precious Maputle and I'm your host for today's virtual launch of Black Sun, White Mother. What better way to celebrate Heritage Day than with the launch of a book which embraces diversity. With me in studio, I have Dr. Myles Munroe's mentees, Gail and Charlie. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, your profiles are as big as your book. So I've decided that for the sake of our viewers, I'm going to allow you, Charlie, to introduce Gail, and Gail for you to introduce Charlie. Just briefly tell our viewers who's Gail, and Gail, tell us briefly who's Charlie.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Charlie Masala, as you have heard. Next to me, you know, I have a new name. I'm Black Sun, and next to me is Gail Vermeulen. I've known Gail for 23 years. I was calculating with a calculator. She calculated with a mind. I use a calculator. We met way back in 1997 when I went to the interview at the Auditor General's office. And arriving there, Gail was part of the panel because she was the manager responsible for that interview. So that's how long we have known each other and the circumstances at which we first met. And Gail, it's a mother of two sons, actually three, because the other one is black, is this one. So she has three sons, and you know, two that she biologically gave birth to, and the third one, which she herself created, and that is me. We met, as I said, over 23 years ago, and she is a human resources professional, a senior human resources professional. She has been doing that for well over 35 years, and so she is well seasoned, and she started off as a teacher actually. She used to teach English. Believe me or not, she's good in her lingo, and that is good for our diversity because I speak Venda. I'm Venda originally, and when we met, all those differences meant nothing, because Gail and I would become very close friends. You know, we have become very close friends. She became a white mother, and I became a black son. And but she's also a very educated person. She has a master's degree, and she has worked in the human resources area for a very long time at senior level. When we first met, actually, she was a head of transformation at the office of the Auditor General. Of course, she didn't start there. She worked for Sanlam before that, human resources also. That is after her teaching career. And from Sanlam, she came to the Auditor General's office. So when we met, we worked at the office of the Auditor General for about 3 years, and then from there, she moved to the African Bank. She was head of HR, General Manager, Human Resources at African Bank, and that is where, when she arrived there, the following week, I got a call from Gail. Gail says, would you mind to come and work with me? So I was headhunted. I enjoyed that opportunity for my head to be hunted, and she headhunted me at the African Bank, and we worked together there between the year 2000, 2001, 2002, About 2002, she then left to, I think towards the end of the year, she left for the ILS, the Integrated Labor Solutions. And at that time, I was manager, human resources, responsible for procurement. And but when she moved, she didn't give up on her habits of chasing me. She then, again headhunted me to join ILS. I didn't last too long at ILS because I then got an idea of starting my own human resources and development consulting. So from ILS, then she moved to Landelani, where she worked there. She was, doing what she learned well, doing on me, which is to headhunt. So Landelani is a headhunting company, so she worked there. And from there, she then moved to Hitachi, and you started off with the other company.
Marion Roberts.
Yeah, Marion Roberts, and then Hitachi, and that's where she then moved from Hitachi, and very briefly she spent some time also at the South African Board of People Practices, and from there then she retired. That's when I spoke at her birthday party when she turned 60, and when she turned 60 we said, you're not going to be retiring, we're going to be having an assignment to do a book on our experience, because we had a wonderful life journey. I used to, when Gail and her family go to holidays, I would, even remain with their house. So that relationship, became very, very strong, and our families know each other, and and Gail would play a lot of, different roles in my own career for my growth. Today, I travel the world. I'm all over the world speaking, and people wonder how this thing come about. But there are people like Gail who have played a role. So that's Gail Vermeulen. I think by now I'm sure you are convinced that I know her a little bit.
Not a little bit. It's actually quite amazing how much you can say just from the palm of your hands, how much you can say about her.
Yeah.
Now, Gail, I'd like to give you an opportunity to tell our viewers, who is Mr. Charles?
Afternoon, everyone. It's my great pleasure to introduce my black son, Charlie Masala. And as the title says, Black Son, White Mother. And a son is very special to a mother. And this man that's sitting next to me is my absolute everything. He's my shining star. He's what makes my eyes glisten. And it's all started by chance. I was looking for someone in the HR department at the Office of the Auditor General, as Charlie already alluded to. And we interviewed people, and Charlie didn't make the cut. And I just couldn't sleep that night.
Oh, wow.
And I kept saying to myself, but there's something so special about this person. He was a young graduate, he didn't have all the experience, and I thought, I'm going to fight. So I went back and I actually asked him to create a position for him to help me with transformation. And that's where our journey began. So we trained, I think, about 1,200 people at the Office of the Auditor General in diversity management. And I must say, like a son and a mother, you learn so much from each other. I've learned more from Charlie than what I've learned in the corporate world. And we've known each other for many, many years, and we just keep growing. But what we understand of each other, even though we're so different, I mean, he comes from rural Venda, I come from a completely different background, but we have so much in common. Because what we want is the same values, and our purpose is the same.
Interesting. What you're saying, it's making me pick up one concept, and that's mentorship. Because you said he came in, Gail, when you were still a student intern at the time who didn't meet the criteria. And you then went back and you said, you know what, I've got to recruit this young man. I see great potential in this young man. And I believe you saw something in him that you could work on. So how important is the concept or the notion of mentorship in an organization, especially to young interns in an organization?
Mentorship is very important. Actually, if you want to understand mentorship, you got to, there's about three steps. or 3 stages in a mentorship. The first stage that all of us we all start at dependent level. That is where we are dependent on someone for senior to help us grow, like in this case of Gail and myself, where she would take me by the hand and I don't know much, and I'm still very raw, and she takes me by hand because I'm dependent. Then you grow into becoming independent. Independence, the stage of independence where you are now, you have learned enough from a mentor and you are able to help yourself. In other words, you are independent. And then the third stage or level, it's interdependence. This is where now you are not just dependent or just independent, but you are now interdependent on others, on your mentor, and your mentor is also dependent on you. So every mentorship has not reached maturity level if the mentee remains dependent. You got to reach a stage of becoming independent, and then from there, interdependent. When you're interdependent, it's where the teacher now can be taught by the student, and the student can teach a teacher. So that process is very, very important. And I was very lucky in that in my whole life, history, I had, Gail on my side, and everywhere I worked, I had people who were interested in me. So that grows one. And I always wonder, how would other people do who would not have Gail on their side and who would not have that, that kind of support. So mentorship, yes, is very, very important.
I'd like to add
Yes,
something
Gail.
to that, because I think it's important what Charlie is saying. And that is, there's another dimension for me on mentorship, where it really works successfully, especially in the corporate world and also on a personal level, is basically where the mentee can choose the mentor. So there's already there must be that relationship. Because when you give feedback, you don't always just give positive feedback. You have to give constructive feedback, and the other person must then be receptive to that and understand, but the person is telling me for my own goodwill. And I think what really binds us together, it's just this bond that I can't explain, is we both had the same mentor. So my mentor was Dr. Myles Munroe, the leadership expert from the Bahamas, and he mentored Charlie. He handpicked Charlie as well. So we both had that same mentor that said to me, for example, Gail, you sound so learned, throw all the books away on leadership. Leadership is about 2 things. And I'm going, you must be joking. Everyone writes about leadership. And he said to me, leadership is about inspiration and influence. And that day was a light bulb moment for me, a wow moment. And I said, I'm going to make sure that he inspires and he influences as many people in the world as possible.
That's very, very profound. Thank you so much for the perspective on your life's journey together. And here we are today launching Black Sun, White Mother, your book. Yes. Now, tell the viewers, how did you finally decide to write a book together?
There was no doubt in my mind when I thought of writing a book on diversity that there's no choice. Gail was just the obvious choice. Because there's something that you can't buy, and that is longevity with someone. You can't go and buy that. So there was no other person that I would ever think of writing with each other like Gail. When I suggested the idea, it was like God is talking to us at the same time. There was no doubt in her mind. And the answer was, let's meet and talk about and do it.
Okay, thank you so much, Charlie. Now from Gail, what I want to find out from you is, how do you balance writing bringing 2 different perspectives on one subject matter such as diversity? How did you balance that?
I think that's an easy one to answer. We wrote from one perspective. That's important to remember.
Okay, interesting.
Even though we see things differently, We have different backgrounds. We've been culturally programmed very, very differently, given our backgrounds, the schools we went to, our ethnicity, our race, our gender, etc. With all this cultural programming, we still have one perspective on diversity. And that is that there is strength in diversity. So we might see the world differently, but our value systems are the same. So I would see something like this, and Charlie would come and say, but this is my input, and we would take the best of both worlds and combine that.
I believe that must take some sort of deeper relation. You must be on another, you must be able to relate in another level, because for you to be able to understand each other and then put both your understanding onto paper, it takes, so I can imagine you didn't have conflict like, oh no, I think this about diversity. No, I think that about, no, this chapter should be like, no, this chapter should be. So you guys, you managed to just be one and.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we didn't have a divergence of views or
Yes.
different views, because diversity is not about thinking the same. It's not about sameness. You know, it's about. It is not even about uniformity, but it's about unity. In other words, you know, for unity to happen, there must be two different ideologies and thinking which comes together in an agreeable way. You know, writing a book together, and you are correct, writing a book together requires that you rub each other off sometimes, you know, because you are not, you know, even twins don't agree on everything, you know. So you will have issues here and there of difference of opinion in mind. But the main thing that Gail is talking about is that we speak from and we think from the same perspective. You know, we'll have different ideas, but bring all those ideas and unite them and unify them into one. Which is along the same thread and theme of unity in diversity.
Yeah, I want to add to that, Charlie, and that is that, you know, we both believe that God made us unique.
Yes.
So we think uniquely, we think differently, but we don't want to conform to each other. I want him to be not a copy of me, but to be the best Charlie that he can be.
So how did you arrive at the title Black Sun, White Mother?
Arriving at that title, I started thinking that you know, we were talking. Gail and I were talking. You know, we worked with different. You know, we talked about different titles, and one evening I was just home and I'm thinking, you know, and I'm saying, but why are we struggling with a title and trying to use other people's titles when we have our own title? And our own title is who we are. You know, it's Black Sun and White Mother. That's how it came about. You know, it came about as a response to who we are.
Now, in terms of identifying who you choose to write the foreword of the book, who you choose to write an endorsement for the book, edit, and all of that, tell our viewers about the process of identifying and why you decided in particular to choose those people, because your story and what you want to relay about the subject must in some way resonate with the characters and the personalities and the experiences of the people you choose to endorse or your book. So tell our viewers, how did you go about identifying all the other stakeholders that made Black Sun, White Mother?
Well, first of all, we wanted to have people who understand the subject matter, number one. Number two, we wanted people who understand, you know, diversity. We also wanted to have people who also, you know, have some kind of credibility in what they do. And if you look at the man who did our foreword, for example, he's a lawyer. He understands the constitution of the country, so he can critique us in his, you know, in doing his foreword. He can look at what we have put as a book, and be able to critique us. So we needed someone who could critique us, because we have taught on diversity, and we understand that our understanding of diversity and how people should work together in getting rid of racism, prejudice, stereotyping, and ethnocentrism. We felt that we needed to have people who have subject matter in the subject matter, and that is why one of the endorsements is done by the chairman of the South African Board of People Practices, Mr. Marius Meyer. He understands the human resources side of things, and the workplace side of it, and the law which governs the labor relations. So, and also, the South African Board of People Practices is the authority of the human resources practice in South Africa. So you cannot have your book critiqued at a much better level than that.
Yeah, I want to add to that, because I think the South African board is our professional body as HR professionals in South Africa, and it's unique in the sense of it is the only body in the world that has HR standards. So, when he read the book and he came back and he said, excellent, I was going, wow, he normally says it's good or very good, but he said it's excellent, and it actually speaks to the spirit of diversity and inclusion that are the HR unit standards for South Africa. But I also just want to add to what Charlie was saying, and that is, we also want a diverse people. So diversity is not just about, the most powerful person, the CEO that's going to endorse it. We have endorsements and thank yous from our previous PA at African Bank, because it's people that have taught you something along the way as well, and that have unleashed your own potential. She always said to me, Gail, you have to be creative. For board packs, you can't just give them written stuff. Be creative. So she taught me a lot, and it's on different levels that you can be a leader.
On that note, let's go for an ad break. After the ad break, we're diving in deeper into Black Sun, White Mother.
COVID-19 is a new illness that can affect your lungs and airways. It's caused by coronavirus. This is a global pandemic which requires everyone to take responsibility in order to minimize the spread of coronavirus. It is now compulsory for all South Africans to wear a face mask in public even after the lockdown eases. If you cannot afford disposable face masks, you may have to make use of the cloth face mask. But what if you cannot sew one for yourself? Well, that's where Miss Price Fashion comes in. We can assist you with cheap and affordable reusable quality face masks. We produce 3 types of face masks: the pleated face mask, the nose curved shape face mask, and the lace face mask. All these masks have 3 layers of fabric as proposed by the government. We have all sizes, including children's face masks. Our face masks start from as little as 25 Rand per mask. We also have special prices for bulk orders. To order your mask, please call the number on the screen. You can also place your order through our website, which is www.misspricefashion.co.za. You can also follow us on our social media pages. Thank you for your support and stay safe. God bless South Africa. Miss Price Fashion, your dress code, your signature.
Welcome back, and we're still here launching Black Sun, White Mother. Now, before the ad break, Gail and Charlie were talking about what inspired the title of the book and the nuances that they faced in terms of detailing the concept of diversity. Now, Gail and Charlie, let's now look at the subtitle of the book, Unleashing Diversity in the Workplace. How important is that?
Well, I'm going to answer that one. I'll take that one first, Charlie. And it is critical. And I think Business South Africa hasn't got it right. And that was one of the things that motivated us to actually write this book. But we wanted to do a different book, because there are lots of books on diversity.
Yes.
So we wanted to do it from a practical point of view, from lessons learned. And that's what's in the book. So it's a quick book. It's easy to read. It's from our 30 years experience in the corporate world. And where the corporates are fixated on numbers, and even though we have a lot of legislation in South Africa, triple BE, employment equity has been around for many, many years now, very little has changed on senior executive level in terms of representativity. And we are missing out so much because there's so many people with potential that should be there, that should be mentored and coached, and succession plans should be put into place, and we're not getting it right in Business South Africa.
Why would you say 25 years into democracy, why would you say we're still dealing with inequalities and the implementation of these acts that you're mentioning, the implementations of the laws that you're mentioning that are not infiltrating or being practiced properly in organizations? Why are we stuck? Why are we stuck?
I think we're stuck because of the impact of cultural programming. People, leaders and managers are not aware, whether you like it or not, you have been culturally programmed. You've received certain messages through your parents, through the professional bodies that you belong to, etc., etc. And when they make decisions based on their own biasness, on stereotyping. You can just think of the Clicks advert that went out.
Yes.
That is a typical example where executives approved this advert, and it is so skewed, it's actually frightening. I mean, it is not correct to say that white people's hair is smooth and beautiful and black people's hair is crispy. I have the curliest hair of anyone. So it's a stereotype once again. And people don't think about that when they approve these decisions. And that is why Business South Africa hasn't got it right. It's ingrained in us.
It's true. Where I hear you mention the Clicks advert, I just want to find out from you, if you were called in as an advisor or they came to consult at your firm, what would you say to the Clicks management? Where did they go wrong? Especially in particular focus to the diversity aspect of it and representation of culture, representation of identity in this new South Africa.
Well, first of all, I don't think they were aware of their own cultural programming, so that executive should have already picked it up and said, but this is a stereotype, number one. And number two, if you're going to advertise hair, just advertise hair.
Yeah.
Don't personalize it and go and say, but this is black hair and this is white hair and this is colored hair. We all have hair, all have different types of hair. So don't put it across a whole group of people and make that sound like the truth, because it's certainly not the truth.
It's interesting that, I mean, from a white woman's perspective, that you share those views. Tate Charlie, what I want to find out from you is, in terms of diversity in the workplace, you came into a working environment as an intern, and you built a relationship with the HR manager who was a white lady, and you are vendor. An African young man who is vendor, raised in vendor, and we know how African men versus white lady. So how did you embrace, what do you think made you be able to embrace Gail, as a mentor, Gail, as somebody who can take you to the next level in life, or as you said, with your purpose that was written down on paper? How did you manage to embrace Gail and see her as the person who can make you tick all those goals that you set?
In 1985, I had an enlightenment of humans. And in 1990, I got a proper revelation of humans. Dr. Myles Munroe, who enlightened me on these issues, helped me realize that, through the Bible, that all humans were products of God, that man was created by God, and that God created the first man, he went to the ground. And that was the last time God went back to the ground. So that basically means that all humans are coming from the first man who was created. So in essence, we are all cousins. So in essence, we might have all different shades and colors. Some of us are are brown, some of us are high yellow and pink and so on. But, you know, God created man in his own image. Man, it's an image of God. So all of us are God's image. So I understood that part. I understood that, you know, all men come from one man. So even if I hate someone who doesn't look like me, I'm basically hating my sister or my brother. Why? Because they're from one family. We are from one family. You know, and it doesn't matter, as I said, how they look, but they are my cousins. They are my family members. So when I met Gail, I knew that I was meeting a mother from my family. You know, the fact that she might, you know, she might be looking how she looks, which is, you know, maybe different from me, that didn't matter. That didn't matter really to me. What mattered was that she is a human being. Who was created like me. So there's no difference between me and her and her and me. We are same. We are members of the same family, and it's called, you know, that one race that God knows. All these other races, God is surprised what you call them yourselves, because He knows only one race, and that is called the human race.
I think I just want to add on to that because it's a really important question. And that is, I try to never make Charlie feel inferior. He might not have had the experience, he might not have had a lot of things at that point in time, but once again, it goes back to ethnocentrism. I'm not more superior than what he is. He's my equal. He might be younger, he might think differently, he's a cool guy at that stage, and I really liked what I saw. And I wanted to be approachable to him, so I opened up myself to him.
Thank you. Now, let's see what other leaders around the globe are saying about the book Black Son, White Mother.
Hello, what's up, Sir Charlie? Wow. Just want to praise and give glory to the King for this privilege to greet you and congratulate you together with Ma'am Gail for the success of today's book launching, Black Son, White Mother.
Wow, hi Sir Charlie. We are so privileged and honored to really greet you in the launching of your new book, Black Son, White Mother.
Yeah.
It's really an interesting book, and I know many people will be blessed with your book, and I'm so excited to get a copy of your book. So
Yeah.
hope to see you here in Davao.
Yeah, I believe that this is just the beginning of the many books that remains unwritten from the deepest of your soul. I cannot forget the time when we've been talking about this writing about book last year. I don't know if you can still remember, since I'm also working with my book, and I told you that you better go ahead first before I can finish mine, and you're gonna write yours first, and now this is it. Now I am pressured to finish mine too. Anyway,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm just so glad and so privileged to get to know such kingdom-minded person, straight all the way from the lineage of Dr. Myles Munroe. And we both know that this was a divine appointment and for such divine connection.
Yeah, so congratulations, Sir Charlie Masala. We're really so excited for the launching of your new release book.
Yeah, I'm just so privileged and honored, and now I have the opportunity to have a friend, not just an ordinary friend, but a world-class, radical, influential, and a brilliant author for his kingdom's cause. This book is going to be one of the best-selling books, I tell you. And then not only there in South Africa, even in Europe, Asia, America, and to all the earth, because that's what we are called for. And I can wait to have another one, and also the other one, because I know that there's two books.
Yeah.
And
More books coming.
congratulations together with your co-author, Ma'am Gail Vermeulen, and your cover photos looks great, awesome, and it's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. Look forward to see you too, Ma'am. Yeah, congratulations.
Gail, congratulations.
Truly, both of you have the mark of a real world changers. And we can wait to see you here once again, Sir Charlie, to have you here again in the Philippines. And make sure that you bring Ma'am Julie with you, okay? We have so many things to work for here in our nation and in Indonesia. Remember?
And in India.
India, yeah, and let's get it on.
Yeah,
let's work on it.
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations again, my brother, from another mother.
Another mother.
We are praying for you and your family every day. And we
Yes,
love
we
you.
love you.
We love you so much.
See you at the top. Congratulations.
This is Cindy Kunene, former HR colleague of Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen. I would like to congratulate you guys on White Mama and Black Son. What a powerful piece of work that we have put together. I'd like to encourage people to get the book for themselves. Organizations, you need the book. We cannot continue pretending that all is well and good, that apartheid never left marks and people are still bleeding. So I am encouraging you that if you are Black, you need the book so that you can journey with your own experiences as a Black person, and where you may have fallen short of your own smartness just on the basis of the fact that you're Black. And to the white employee out there that has had the privileges on the basis of color, we do need to get to the point where we accept that we have been through a journey in this country. And until we face that journey, we will never heal. And where people do not heal, there will always be scars and wounds. And I think we have dragged this long enough. It is time we change. Go get yourself a copy. Well done, Gail and Charlie Masala. I am definitely going to be selling this book to my counterparts because I think it is time we're just honest about where we are, where we've been, and what will happen if we carry on pretending like yesterday never happened. Bless you, Cindy Kunene.
Greetings to everyone. My name is Dr. Basil Tryon. I take this opportunity to congratulate Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen on this excellent work in the book, Black Son, White Mother. This book is a must to everyone who desires to understand diversity and how we can come together to heal and be healed and complement one another to bring forth a people of righteousness, justice, and peace. Teamwork makes any dream work, and together each achieves more. In all you're getting, get understanding, said the wise, rich King Solomon. You will be greatly enriched by reading this book, Black Son, White Mother. I highly recommend this book, a must for everyone who is searching for answers from the difficult questions of life. Thank you, and God richly bless you.
Charlie and Gail, I'm super proud of your latest book. You know, we've walked such a long journey together, back in the 1990s, working together, plotting together, and embarking on a unique journey to empower so many people back at the Auditor General. Little realized the massive impact that we would have made, and we did make, you know, going from office to office and eventually serving more than 1,200 people throughout the country. It was really a magnificent experience, and I reflect on that particular experience because the genesis of your book, I think, stems so much from the hard work and I think the joyous labor that both you and Charlie put together in your book. And I think South Africa is just going to be a much richer place, and I think the world as well, in terms of diversity management, transformation. You know, these are terms that people think are new, but I think in large and in part, both, you know, Charlie and yourself had
fostered this diversity thinking, this cultural soup, if I can call it, of really working together and working harmoniously. So I can only wish you well on this journey. I know it's going to be an awesome book launch, and I'm really looking forward to grabbing a copy, hopefully an autographed one, as soon as I can. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Gail and Charlie, my ex-boss and my colleague. I cannot believe that you're still together. The passion that is between you as a team is amazing. I am here to congratulate you for the book you have finished in such a short period of time. Unbelievable. I'm just saying to you guys, don't stop, because I know when you've got something in mind, you just don't mess up. And I know that there's probably more projects that are on your mind right now. But I would like to say, keep it up. Congratulations. I'm sure there's a second book coming up, knowing you. By the way, for the ones that don't know me, this is Sweetness Malete. I am currently in the office of the Premier as a deputy director. I used to work. I spent 4 good years with this two, Gail as my ex-boss and Charlie as my colleague. They motivated me. The passion they have when they've got a project that they're working on, the sacrifice, the commitment, it's unbelievable. But listen, I am saying, don't stop. Sky is the limit. Congratulations.
It is a privilege and an honor to be saying congratulations and well done to you, my sister, Gail Vermeulen, and now my also son, Charlie Masala, for having been able to put into paper your thoughts, your understanding, your experiences, and the lessons that you have actually shared with other people in your working life and in other life experiences in relation to diversity. It's a very important subject that we have to deal with. Transformation is still a very needed intervention in our lives here in South Africa. And you having put down on paper what your understanding is of this subject, and as experts in the area, is a contribution that one can never underestimate. As they say, a life without books is like a body without a soul. Your contribution to the wealth of knowledge in our country is very much appreciated, and wish you well with your book, A Black Son, White Mother. Thank you.
Greetings and congratulations from Nassau, Bahamas. This is Dr. Dave Burrows, and I have the pleasure of bringing a congratulation and endorsement for this wonderful work by my brother Charlie Masala and his wonderful co-author, Ms. Gail Vermeulen. As I've studied this manuscript, it caused me to think about the unique giftings that God has given all of us. And with all of the gifts and talents and abilities that we've been given, some people have been inhibited because they have looked at their skin color and seen it as a contradiction or a devaluing statement. The truth of the matter is we are all created equal. We are all given unique talents, gifts, and abilities. And when we understand that the color of our skin has nothing to do with our abilities and nothing to do with what God has given us, then we can live together, we can work together, we can accomplish together. And we all become better when we understand that we are stronger through our diversity. And our minds and our spirits are much more important than the houses that we live in. So once again, congratulations on this work, Black Son, White Mother, and I believe it will be an excellent tool to change the mindsets and to liberate many, especially many Black people around the world. So once again, congratulations and God bless you.
Hello, this is Dr. Fernando Moreira from Brazil, and I'd like to greet Dr. Charlie Masala and Dr. Gail Vermeulen for their new book, Black Son, White Mother, a book that comes in right time, and we are really anxious to read it because we need that kind of message, a message that will build a new generation of leaders that will learn how to manage diversity, not only speaking, but acting on how to deal with that. Thank you very much for both of you for that wisdom that makes us better, that makes the world better, helping us to build a better leadership, a better way of seeing the things in a way that the world needs. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Darrell Wilson, coming to you from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, USA, here to congratulate my good friend Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen on the release of their brand new book, Black Son, White Mother, a book on diversity in leadership. In this book, you will learn principles and keys to unlock diversity in your organization. I love the subtopic, unleashing the power of diversity in the workplace. Think about it. When you think about a garden, a vegetable garden, what comes to mind? Beautiful, bright, vibrant colored vegetables of all shapes and sizes and hues. Well, contrary to popular belief, when you think about the greatest resources on God's earth, they're not gold, silver, or precious stones. No, the greatest natural resources are human resources. It is God's purpose for each and every individual to maximize who it is that they are and to take that unique set of principles and unique talents and skills and blend them together in a diverse way to unlock the cultural riches that each person brings to the workplace. So in Black Son, White Mother, you will learn exactly how to do that. Get your copy of Charlie and Gail's book today. You won't be disappointed.
Choice Kingdom greetings to you, Charlie Masala. This is Pastor George Mosena here. I want to congratulate you on your newest book that you have written together with Gail Vermeulen. It is such an amazing book, and I believe that the world has been waiting for a book such as this one that you have written. Listen, we're going to relate better now because we would have read your book. We're going to manage diversity better because we would have read your book. And I want to just say this to everybody who will be listening to me today, that Charlie Masala is an amazing leader and a prolific speaker. And as you read this book, your life will never be the same again. And so Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen, I pray that the Lord may continue to increase you so that those books that are in the inside of you may be unleashed and may be written over and over again so that we can have a better world. Thank you so much for allowing God to use you in such a mighty way, and God bless you.
Hi, this is Tenor Carlos Seise, and I'm here to congratulate Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen in their book, Black Son, White Mother. What a beautiful title. Black Son, White Mother. Congratulations. Aquí estamos de fiesta para desearle a Charlie Masala y a Gail Vermeulen felicitaciones en su libro Black Son, White Mother. Ahí está el trabajo y el fruto de una relación para trabajar juntos. Así que le deseamos muchas felicidades. Charlie and Gail, congratulations. God bless you. And thank you for giving us the gift of working together and putting this book together for us. Many blessings. Muchas bendiciones para todos.
Thank you to all the leaders from across the globe for your perspectives and reviews on Black Sun, White Mother. To all our viewers, we're still at the launch of Black Sun, White Mother. And in studio, I still have Gail and Charlie. Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you so much, Charlie. There's one thing I'm picking up from your response, especially with regards to how you went about embracing Gail as a mentee and how you, Gail, opened up to him. And it's taking me to what I read in your book, Black Sun, White Mother. And I came across an endorsement by the late Dr. Myles Munroe's daughter, Ms. Carissa Munroe Wilborn. And she says, in quoting her father, that if we reduce people to human, we would realize that we are all the same, beautifully created by one God, under one creed, for one purpose, with varying potentials. So in your responding, I see you exercised this. You had to immerse yourself and get a revelation that I'm actually human, she's also human, and we are here for the fulfillment of purpose.
Well, here is what will make us win.
Yes.
If you when you meet a human, you must tell yourself that I'm meeting a human. I'm meeting a human being. Whether they are whoever they are, culturally or religiously, you should never say, oh, I'm meeting a Muslim, or I'm meeting whatever you want to call it, in terms of religion or whatever culture or whatever they are. No, tell yourself as human. So that is what he meant by reduce everyone to be a human. So if I reduce you to a human, whatever comes after you is secondary. Because the main thing is that you are a human being. You were created, in the image and, in the likeness of the Creator, which is God. So
I think we were just very fortunate, both of us, that many people pass over your path in life's journey, but very few really make a difference to you. And because Dr. Myles passed through both our lives, he made a massive impact on both of us. So the way that we view the world, the way that we do things in the workplace, the way that we treat each other is in the likeness of God.
Yeah,
and that's what he taught us.
I love that. And in mentioning that Dr. Myles Munroe passing through and all of that, I know that this book is also dedicated, is also written in dedication to him. So in what aspect or to what degree do you unleash the principles that you were taught by Dr. Myles Munroe in this book?
Well, first of all, as I said, Dr. Myles said to me, leadership is about inspiration and influence. And the book is written for the corporate world, but for everyone else as well, but for the leaders and managers there that need to understand and realize that they need to inspire people and influence people. And they can only do that if they put their own prejudice, their own bias, their own feelings of discrimination and stereotyping away, and they understand how they themselves have been culturally programmed. So the book goes from the genesis of diversity, what is diversity all about, to an appreciation and fostering an environment where you can actually appreciate diversity and say that we are stronger because we're different, not stronger because we are the same.
That's very powerful. Now let's dig into Black Sun, White Mother. I know the book is divided into 4 parts. Yes. In terms of the first part of the book, Ntate Charles, I want you to just unpack some of the principles or concepts that are being that you're looking at in that particular section of the book, so that when the viewers take interest in buying the book, they need to know, because Gail mentioned earlier that there's so many books about diversity, what makes ours different. So I'm sure it starts in the beginning, in the first section, where you even diversify and unpack the concept of diversity. So just take our viewers through what are some of the concepts or your definition of diversity in that particular section 1 of the book.
Thank you very much. The initial part of the book starts off with the genesis of diversity. And we call it the genesis of diversity because diversity started somewhere. And whether we're now fighting about diversity or not, the issue is that we're fighting and having misunderstandings in the world today because we don't understand the origins of diversity. And if we understood the origins of diversity, there wouldn't be so much fighting and wars in the world today. But what we need to understand is that everybody was created by God. I think I alluded onto it earlier that God created the first man and he never went back to the ground, because the second man and the third man, and now we have like 7.8 billion of us in the world. But he started off with one. So we talk about that so that there could be appreciation of humans and human beings to understand that, by the way, this person that I dislike, or this person that I'm pointing out certain things about their lives which I do not like, that, by the way, that person is my image. That person looks and resembles me, because all of us are from one Father. We are from one source. And so that's what we talk about in the genesis of diversity.
Thank you so much, Ndate Charlie, for giving us perspective on the first section of the book. Now, Gail, would you kindly give our viewers a perspective on the remaining chapters, or rather sections of the book?
I'll be delighted to do that. So, the second part of the book is basically creating awareness for leaders and managers so that they understand they've been culturally programmed, whether you like it or not, and so that they are aware in the workplace they should not be biased. Where does it come from? Where does the stereotyping come from? The feelings of superiority. We've seen the history of South Africa, as Charlie alluded to that. And how does this play out in the workplace? So it's lessons learned from the workplace. And then what comes first? The values of the organization or the company, or my own values? For example, I believe in African time, so I'm going to come late. So if I come late for meetings, what is the impact in the workplace? And what is the role of the leader to get that person to understand? But if you come late for a meeting, it's disrespectful to other people and it places pressure on other people. So to create that awareness. But then it goes further. So it's almost like an onion that we're peeling layers.
Yes.
And we're digging a bit deeper. So we want to make people understand what are the practical lessons that we've learned collectively in the workplace. It's not good to enforce uniformity. Why? Because there's no creative problem solving if everyone thinks the same. So you want diversity in your team, but how do you harness that diversity? And as we all know, the challenge of the fourth industrial revolution is upon us in this new decade. So robots will take over, and what does that mean to us? It means to the leaders and managers in corporate South Africa that the work will be reorganized, which means that people, and we need a people-centric approach to survive, would have to have new skills. And we actually talk about what are these skills and why are they important. But most importantly, for the leaders and managers to be successful, they themselves have to have new skills. So they don't only now need the IQ, the competence to be able to do the job. They don't only need the emotional intelligence to understand the diverse team, but they also need the social intelligence, which is a new dimension of skills. That political savvy that you need, that's future focused, so you can take your team with you, and you know how to play the politics within your company. That is what's going to make your team successful. And just think about it. If the individual is successful, the team is successful. If the team is successful, the company is successful. If the company is successful, the clients are satisfied. And that's how you survive on the longer term.
Thank you so much, Gail. That was a very insightful detail of what the remainder of the book entails. And I love that you touched on 4IR, because for us as South Africans, I think it only became a reality when the coronavirus hit, because we had to embrace e-learning, for example, we had to embrace working from home. So how would you say, in terms of diversity, how has the coronavirus in the South African context, you can even go globally, influenced the concept of, or the notion of diversity in the workplace?
Well, I think that this is a really interesting question, so thank you for that. I think it's a wake-up call for the leaders and the managers in corporate South Africa, because they realize that the national slogan that our president has given to the country to help fight this invisible enemy and to survive is actually something that's cut across all differences, but also pointed out the inequalities in our society. So the same applies to the workplace. And I'm so happy because it's made people think out of their comfort zones. You know, leaders and managers have had to say, so can I allow people to work from home, but are they going to be productive? And guess what? People are more productive than what the manager ever thought they would be. And they are committed to their work. So now we have a new way of doing things. And I think when people get back to the office, they're going to see, but hang on, we can do things in a diverse way. We don't all have to be here at the same time. And I'm really happy for that new way of thinking, the new world of work. So, you know, people are stronger when they are different. That diversity does bring the strength, and it's pulled the whole country together. So just like businesses need to, and teams need to understand we have to stand together, maybe be completely different and do things completely differently in the fourth industrial revolution, we can still be very, very successful.
I love what you say. Diversity does strengthen us. Let's go for an ad break.
The Munroe Press presents Black Sun, White Mother, written by Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen. In this book, Charlie Masala and Gail Vermeulen converted their personal experiences into an excellent work. This book will challenge and motivate you to rise to the occasion in internalizing diversity in your life and work. The reader is taken on a unique journey to unlocking the potential of diversity in the workplace, from the genesis of diversity in Chapter 1 right through to embracing diversity in Chapter 22. The strength of the book lies in its practical wisdom, expressed in succinct yet profound pieces of insight and advice. Order your personal copy online at munroeglobal.com or any leading bookstore near you.
Welcome back to the virtual launch of Black Sun, White Mother. Now, before the break, we were talking all things coronavirus, 4IR. I just want to find out from Ntate Charlie, why did you, before we even forgot, why did you decide to launch this book on Heritage Day?
Well, Heritage Day is a very important day because Heritage Day reminds us of our heritage. And our common heritage is that we are all humans. Our common heritage is that we coming from one person, the first man on earth. That's where all of us are coming from. So it's part of our heritage. And of course, part of our heritage is that we are all Africans, all of us. All of us in the world have started in Africa. The first man was created here in Africa. History tells us that man was created here in a sport, which is in the northern side of Africa. So we know that we all come from Africa. So that's our heritage. So we chose this day so that we use a day which sort of help us to think about diversity, because Heritage Day is Diversity Day. We are all, as I said, from one place, but we have become diverse. We've become diverse because, not just because of the skin color, but because of all these other things that makes us diverse. You know, a geographical location, now that we are all scattered around the globe, and also the fact that we also diverse because of languages and all other things that became eminent as the time was as time was going and population was growing in the world. So Heritage Day is a very important day for us. This Diversity Day called Heritage Day is a day for unity, is the day to remind us that we are all members of the same family.
Yeah, we're not called the Rainbow Nation for nothing.
Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you for that. They don't call us a rainbow nation for nothing. Thank you to Ntate Nelson Mandela for that as well. I also just want to find out from you in terms of diversity and on the subject of heritage, what does a world that has fully embraced diversity look like?
I've got one word, awesome. Because it is awesome. If you just think of the beautiful colors in a rainbow.
Yes.
Different people. If you just think of South Africa, all the different ethnic groups with their beautiful traditions, and look how beautiful you look. You know,
Thank
it just
you.
brings a smile to your face. And I think it's an awesome place to be in.
Indeed. And what is your vision for the book? Where do you see it from today and even past your time on Earth? What do you see? What's your vision for the book? Where do you see it going?
Well, when we started off with the book, we said we were not even thinking of something that we will be selling. So it was not even an idea of selling. It was an idea of, we want to make sure that since we have trained so much on diversity and we would like the world to know about the differences that we all have, but which must make us, united. That is really was the passion for our book. So we hope that this book will be able to go around the world. It's not just a South African book, but it's a global book. So we hope that it will go around the world and help people who are struggling so badly and fighting out issues of racism, fighting out bigotry and all these ugly things when they raise their heads all around the world. We hope that this book will be able to bring unity to people. It will help people to realize that even though we are diverse, but there's so much similarities about us because we are members of the same family.
So for the two of us, it was a legacy more than anything else that we'd really like to leave. And I mean, it's not just South Africa that's struggling with this issue. If we look at America and we look at the Black Lives Matter campaign, and many other countries in the world are struggling with the same issues. And it's just because people won't come out of their comfort zones.
That's very true. I wish you all the best, and I myself cannot wait to get a copy of the book. I just want to find out, do you have any last words for the older and younger generation of viewers that are watching us right now?
Well, all I can say from my part is we love you dearly. We've written it with a lot of passion, and please buy the book and please read it because it's going to change your life.
Charlie?
Thank you. I would say that diversity, it's not a project with a start and an end date. So it's going to be continuing. It is us, the current generation, and the next generations to embrace each other and use the learned lessons that we have learned, that we put on the book for you. Use that as your guide, and you will see that the world will never be the same. Actually, one of the men who was working on this book, proofreading the book, he said something to me which was very interesting. He said that if majority of the people in the world were to take these lessons and embrace them, we will have a brand new world. And maybe this is the time for that brand new world. Go get the book, Black Son, White Mother, and it will revolutionize your life and your thinking. Because remember, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you do not learn, you won't have something to work on. So get a book, and I know that they say that if you want to hide something from a black man, put in the book, because you will never find it. But I know that is not you, because we have changed and we're changing that narrative. So go get a book and read the book, and it will definitely change you and your generations to come. Help also kids to read this book and understand it, because if they get it while they're still young, of course they will be different people as they grow up. So we're hoping to see this book go into universities and schools and churches and industries and companies and all the different workplaces around the world.
And my plea is, as a mother nurtures, and you see children grow and blossom, I'd really like to ask the people that read the book, please pass it down to your children. These thoughts, the emotions in the book, so that they can also learn from it and grow.
Wow. And finally, just a vote of thanks to some contributors to the book. Who would you like to give a vote of thanks to?
I think everyone that's helped us along this journey. I think there's just too many to mention by name, but a thank you, a heartfelt thank you to everyone that's helped us to get to this point.
And if you want to know who those people are, get the book. We've listed all of them under acknowledgement. Go to a page which says acknowledgement. You will see all of them. There's a lot of them who have helped us arrive here. It has been a journey.
Thank you so much. This has been a very insightful conversation and engagement. I'm sure even for our viewers. Thank you all for all the questions that you've been sending through. Just for the sake of our viewers who want to know more and who want to find the book and read more on the subject of diversity, where can they find Black Sun, White Mother?
Well, Black Sun, White Mother is found on monroeglobal.com. So you go www.monroeglobal.com. That is where you will find your ebook will be there. You can also order your hard copies on that platform. And of course, you can go also to, you can visit Amazon. We'll be on Amazon as well as Take a Lot locally. We'll obviously put it on other range of platforms as the time goes.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of you personally, if people want to follow you personally to see where you are, perhaps you're giving talks or something, how can they reach you?
Well, you can find me and follow me on Twitter. I'm Charlie Masala. I'm Charlie Masala across all platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as LinkedIn.
Okay, and Gail?
Basically the same. I'm Gail Vermeulen across the same social media platforms, and then also at my own consultancy, Gail Vermeulen Consultancy at outlook.com.
Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Precious Maputle, and I, for one, cannot wait to get my autographed copy of Black Sun, White Mother. Happy Heritage Day, and don't forget to get your copy of Black Sun, White Mother. Happy Heritage Day.
The Munroe Press presents Black Sun, White Mother, written by Charlie Masara and Gail Vermeulen. In this book, Charlie Masara and Gail Vermeulen converted their personal experiences into an excellent work. This book will challenge and motivate you to rise to the occasion in internalizing diversity in your life and work. The reader is taken on a unique journey to unlocking the potential of diversity in the workplace, from the genesis of diversity in Chapter 1 right through to embracing diversity in Chapter 22. The strength of the book lies in its practical wisdom, expressed in succinct yet profound pieces of insight and advice. Order your personal copy online at monroeglobal.com or any leading bookstore near you.